Hi, Ashley. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
So, we have talked before for chronic wellness tools, and today we are getting together to talk with my Full Circle Wellness audience. And I'm excited to introduce them to you. I feel like you're a new generation of holistic practitioners, and I love hearing your enthusiasm and excitement about the work that you're doing. So, just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the work that you do.
Sure. So I am a holistic health coach is my official title, but I like to say holistic healing coach.
Sure.
I'm a little bit more interested in sort of going deep into the root causes of illnesses and really healing from the inside out, as opposed to just like, get your glow back and like lose 5 pounds and
Sure.
sort of like, on the surface health. So I work with people with a wide range of health issues,
Okay.
anything from acne to fibromyalgia and MS and chronic fatigue and diabetes and IBS. And so I'm really interested in getting to the root causes of things and helping people take back control of their own health and realize that they don't just exclusively have to depend on a doctor and popping pills, but there's a lot that they can do for themselves to start making really big shifts in how they're feeling.
Wonderful. So you have experience with chronic pain and chronic illness yourself. Will you tell us just a little bit about your journey?
Sure. So, going back, I say that with such enthusiasm,
Yeah.
like it's really fun, but it's actually been a long road to get to a place of health. But going back to when I was about 3, I started having chronic pain in my legs and eventually all over my body.
Oh,
Then I
wow.
had migraines, really bad eczema for a while. I'd had acne for a long time. I was diagnosed officially with arthritis when I was 14. And then as a young adult living in New York, I had a lot of health problems. I wasn't sleeping. I had migraines really severely, pain all over my body, really bad back pain, pinched nerves, all sorts of things. And that's what sort of led me to finding an acupuncturist who completely changed my life and my health. And then using my newfound vegan lifestyle to also to maintain and manage feeling better and not pain. And if I start to have a flare up of something, I know what to treat it right away. And that eventually led me to wanting to spread that to other people and share it with other people, and that's when I became a health coach.
Oh, that's super exciting. And I'm excited for you, and I'm overjoyed that you found your way out of a long history there with chronic pain and lots of struggles. So, I know that the nutritional component has been really big for you along the way. Will you tell us a little bit about your philosophy around nutrition and the I know every recommendation is unique to the person you work with, but in general, your philosophy on food and wellness?
Sure. So I am a lot of what I do incorporates traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda, which is traditional Indian medicine. And so a lot of that is based on your personal body type and constitution and your ancestry and the climate of where you live. So I don't just do like one size fits all, everyone drink green juice 3 times a day and that's going to solve all your problems. Because if you live in a cold state, like I live in New York, and I grew up in upstate New York where they have 8 feet of snow. If you live there and you're a person that's naturally cold all the time, you shouldn't be doing green juice 3 times a day. It's going to make you freezing cold. It's going to make you feel achy. It's going to make you feel tired. It's not going to serve you. So what I do is really looking at, the person, also where they live, the season that we're in, and catering a health plan that fits them. So someone in upstate New York who's cold all the time should be doing really warming, grounding foods, warming spices like cumin and curry and turmeric and cinnamon, and stews and soups and really traditional sort of grounding things like potatoes and sweet potatoes and beans and things like that. So that's a big part of what I do. Also, I'm vegan, and the people that I work with don't have to be vegan,
Sure.
but I like to work with people who are interested in leaning in, at the very least,
Yeah.
to that and giving it a try, because animal foods are really inflammatory, and most chronic conditions stem from inflammation. So it's cutting out dairy can make huge changes for people really, really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I recently worked with a client who had severe eczema all over her face, and she's starting a small business, and she wants to get photos done for her website, and she literally has like bits of her face falling off as she's like talking to people, and it's really embarrassing, and it's holding her back.
Sure.
And she lives in England. It's very cold. It's very wet. And I said, you know what? I think you're going to have to cut out dairy. And she went off dairy for 2 or 3 weeks. And of course, I gave her other recipes and other alternatives, so she wasn't just, shell shock. And within a few weeks, her face had completely cleared up. And she had it on her scalp as well. And she started adding in some more natural hair products. And now her scalp is clearing up as well. So she's actually on her way to Hawaii right now, and she's going to get her photos done for her website. So, just really small shifts like that are a great place to start in healing the body. And then also if you have something more severe and more, deeply inground in your body, like fibromyalgia or arthritis, there are a lot of other changes we need to make, but cutting out animal foods is a great place to start.
Oh, that's great. I'm so happy for her. That's wonderful. Especially when your symptom is outward like that in public. That can, be very limiting. Mm-hmm. So another piece of your story that is super exciting to me is that you yourself used tracking to identify which foods were causing challenges for you. And it sounds like you make those recommendations for your clients as well. Tell me a little bit about how you use keeping track of things to inform you about your health or people's health.
Mm-hmm. So with my clients, I have them, depending on the condition they have, I either have them do a 3-day food journal that they send to me before I meet with them, or now I'm having them do a 7-day food journal, but also not just tracking their food, but also tracking their symptoms. Mm-hmm. So if they're coming to me for IBS, I have them track not only what they eat, but also how, and I have them rated on a scale of 1 to 10. And how severe it is, because sometimes certain food triggers don't affect us until a few days later. Yeah. So it's important to not just have like 3 days and quick and go, oh, nothing happened in that 3 days. It wasn't, the thing that I ate.
Right.
So my own experience with that it was actually an awakening to the fact that I was in pain every day. Mm. My acupuncturist had me track what hurt when. And if you had asked me if I was in pain every day, I would have said no. It's just every now and then my legs get really bad and I can't walk. And I only noticed the really severe times because I'd had it for so long that my pain threshold was so insanely high that I didn't even notice when I was in pain until someone told me I had to notice.
Yeah.
Then I need to go back and find the notes that I wrote, but I literally would be like, right arm hurt, left knee hurt, foot hurt, and then the next day, back hurt, shoulder, and I had no idea that I was in pain every day because I was so used to it. To me, pain was normal. To me, pain was like an everyday existence. Yeah. So for me, tracking really helped me be more aware of the state of my health. But then also when I went and sat down with my acupuncturist, I could actually hand it to her and say okay, here's what's going on. And then later on, I actually worked with an esthetician who had me track as well. And so she had me track what I was eating and how that related to my skin flaring up or not. So again, it was just sort of like getting really clear and aware of how the things I was putting in my body were affecting me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people think that tracking can be very tedious and monotonous, but I think it's interesting how taking the time to do that not only reveals more about yourself the way you're describing, but I think it actually heightens your own relationship with your own body's wisdom and intuition because you're listening to yourself. That thing of getting used to living with pain or getting used to or accommodating our illness because we're so used to carrying it with us, actually allowing ourselves to see it and acknowledge it. And it's from that place that you can make those shifts, or you can acknowledge that it's worth giving up dairy because look at the symptoms on the other side.
Right. Yeah. I think when people are chronically ill, especially in chronic pain, you sort of have to ignore it a little bit, or else
you can't function.
You will be very depressed and you'll want to stay in your bed all the time. So you do kind of have to suck it up. And I did gymnastics when I was younger, and a lot of that's, suck it up and don't worry about the pain and sort of repress, which just makes everything worse, by the way.
Right.
So having to actually pay attention to what's going on was like I said, just a revelation.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm so excited. Thank you so much for joining us. I feel like not only are you on this great journey, you're a poster child for holistic health, taking you out of a rough spot health wise, but you're also bringing this to a new generation. Now you're going to be working with amazing chic urban girls all over the world and bringing holistic health to them, and maybe not just through green smoothies, which is super exciting for me to hear. But if there were one thing that you would love to put out there to people to help them out on their journey or to even kickstart a shift, what would that one thing be?
One thing that they can start doing, I would say, there's a few. One really easy thing that they can start doing is cutting out processed foods. Mm-hmm. There's so many chemicals, and that's a whole other conversation about processed sugars and GMOs and all of that, and sort of, dairy and things being in food that you wouldn't expect to have it, or gluten being in things that you wouldn't expect to have it. So cutting out processed foods and starting, excuse my dog, she wants to participate. Cutting out the processed stuff and cooking, learning just a few recipes that they can make is a great place to start. And learning to maybe cook one big batch of something that they can freeze and have throughout the week. So when you're in a hurry and you're busy, which I know we all are, you don't, fall off the wagon and eat something terrible.
Right.
A really easy thing that I like to start my clients with is making a miso soup. It's really simple. It's literally seaweed, which sounds gross, but is very good for you and very detoxifying. Miso, and you can either add scallions or onions, and if you want tofu, and of course you should get organic tofu, and water. So it couldn't be easier. It's 3 or 4 ingredients depending on how you make it. And it's a great thing to start your day with. I know you mentioned it earlier off camera that you've been adding in soups for breakfast. It's a great way to start your day, to get your digestion working. It's a great thing to have before dinner. I like to have a miso soup on hand, and I'll eat that while I'm making dinner. So then I end up eating less of whatever the other thing is. So it's great for your digestion. Miso is a probiotic. Seaweed is detoxifying. It's a really great place to start. It's great to help you get off sugar and get off sort of the processed foods that we're used to having, the different tastes that we're used to having. It really helps to level out your blood sugar and change your taste buds. So that's an easy place to start.
Well, thank you for sharing that recommendation. That's fantastic. And before we sign off, can we meet your dog?
Avery, come here. Wait, hold on. I have to get up and get her. Hold on.
Okay.
Her hair's all messed up. Oh, this is Avery.
Hi, Avery. Well, thank you both so much for joining us today. It was so great talking with you, and I hope you'll keep us posted.
Thank you, I will.
Oh, before we sign off, you have to tell us about your website. Where can we find you?
Sure. So my company is Greenlight Holistic Healing, and my website is greenlighthh.com.
Great. Well, we will find you there, and we will see you soon. Thanks so much, Ashley.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.